Water carries a rhythm that is intuitive, emotional, and deeply connected to the unseen. It is the force that moves beneath the surface, shaping relationships through empathy, sensitivity, and the quiet wisdom of the heart. When water energy flows through love, it brings depth, healing, and a kind of emotional truth that cannot be spoken in words alone. In this journey, AstroPrinciple guides you through the emotional landscape of the tide of Cancer, the depth of Scorpio, and the ocean of Pisces, revealing how their energy shapes compatibility, healing, and long-term harmony in 2026. The tide of Cancer begins with a heart that feels everything. This energy loves with tenderness, intuition, and a desire to create emotional safety. Cancer does not rush into connection. They sense it, nurture it, and protect it with devotion. In 2026, this tide becomes more self-aware, learning to balance care for others with care for themselves. Cancer attracts partners who appreciate warmth, loyalty, and emotional depth, yet misunderstandings arise when Cancer sensitivity is mistaken for moodiness. This year encourages Cancer to express needs clearly, to set boundaries without guilt, and to trust that vulnerability is a strength, not a burden. AstroPrinciple observes that Cancer grows when they learn to receive love as openly as they give it, understanding that emotional reciprocity strengthens connection. The tide of Cancer explores compatibility across elements with intuition in 2026. With fire, passion awakens but requires emotional steadiness. With earth, stability enters the relationship, creating a nurturing foundation. With air, communication becomes essential to avoid misunderstandings. With fellow water, emotional depth becomes powerful, though boundaries must remain clear. Cancer learns that love is not only about caring for others, but allowing themselves to be cared for. This year, Cancer discovers that the strongest relationships are those where emotional safety flows both ways. The depth of Scorpio moves through love with intensity, loyalty, and a desire for truth that goes beyond the surface. Scorpio's heart is passionate, perceptive, and deeply protective of its inner world. In 2026, this depth becomes more balanced, inviting Scorpio to express emotions with clarity rather than secrecy. Scorpio attracts partners who appreciate devotion, emotional courage, and transformative connection, yet misunderstandings arise when Scorpio's intensity is mistaken for control. This year encourages Scorpio to soften their defenses, to trust the process of emotional openness, and to allow love to unfold without fear of loss. AstroPrinciple notes that Scorpio grows when they learn to release old wounds, understanding that healing creates space for deeper intimacy. The depth of Scorpio explores compatibility across elements with emotional insight in 2026. With fire, passion becomes powerful but requires emotional grounding. With earth, stability strengthens trust, though Scorpio must avoid overprotectiveness. With air, communication becomes essential to bridge emotional differences. With fellow water, emotional fusion becomes intense, but balance is needed to maintain individuality. Scorpio learns that love is not only about intensity, but about trust. The trust to be seen, to be understood, and to be accepted without fear. This year, Scorpio discovers that the strongest relationships are those where emotional truth is shared, not hidden. The ocean of Pisces flows through love with compassion, imagination, and a deep longing for soulful connection. Pisces loves with softness, intuition, and a sense of emotional magic that transforms ordinary moments into something meaningful. In 2026, this ocean energy becomes more grounded, inviting Pisces to balance dreams with reality. Pisces attracts partners who appreciate empathy, creativity, and emotional openness, yet misunderstandings arise when Pisces' sensitivity is mistaken for escapism. This year encourages Pisces to express boundaries gently, to stay present even when emotions feel overwhelming, and to trust that clarity strengthens connection. AstroPrinciple observes that Pisces grows when they learn to anchor their emotions, understanding that grounded love allows their intuition to flourish. The ocean of Pisces explores compatibility across elements with emotional wisdom in 2026. With fire, the connection becomes inspiring but requires grounding to avoid overwhelm. With earth, stability enters the relationship, offering Pisces a safe space to express their dreams. With air, communication becomes essential to maintain clarity and prevent emotional drift. With fellow water, emotional depth becomes powerful, but balance is needed to avoid losing individuality. Pisces learns that love is not only about feeling deeply, but about staying anchored in truth, in presence, and in emotional clarity. This year, Pisces discovers that the strongest relationships are those where imagination and reality flow together with harmony. As the water journey unfolds, a deeper truth begins to rise. Water signs are not defined only by sensitivity. They are defined by the emotional intelligence they bring into relationships. The tide of Cancer teaches the beauty of nurturing and emotional safety. The depth of Scorpio teaches the power of truth and transformation. The ocean of Pisces teaches the magic of compassion and soulful connection. Together, they reveal that water in relationships is not fragility but strength, the strength that comes from empathy, intuition, and emotional honesty. In 2026, water signs experience a year of emotional healing and inner awakening. Relationships become spaces where vulnerability is honored, where emotions are heard, and where love flows like a calm, steady river. Cancer learns protection without losing themselves. Scorpio learns openness without losing depth. Pisces learns grounding without losing their spiritual sensitivity. AstroPrinciple reminds you that compatibility is not a fixed state, but an emotional current, a current shaped by trust, communication, and the willingness to feel deeply. Water signs thrive when they embrace this current, allowing their natural sensitivity to guide relationships toward healing, depth, and long-term harmony. As this journey concludes, the waves within each water sign continue to move with quiet strength, not chaotic, but deep, not fragile, but restorative. They become the tide that brings hearts together, the depth that gives relationships meaning, and the ocean that allows love to be felt at the level of the soul. In 2026, water signs step into a year where sensitivity becomes wisdom, depth becomes strength, and love becomes a path of shared healing and shared evolution. And through this path, AstroPrinciple remains a companion, offering insight, clarity, and the gentle reminder that when water is understood, it becomes one of the most transformative forces of emotional connection.